clearly Slovenia is not a tax heaven. It's also much more of an industrial country if you look at their exports, so it has much more of a cyclical exposure as opposed to pure financial services. All this said, it is also much more the remnants of an old socialist economy, although it has transformed itself. So with Cyprus, it's actually very different. We're seeing the need for more reforms, particularly in the state-owned sector. But if you also look, there's been a pension reform that was put forward, and that's a good step. But there's much more that's needed in terms of labor inflexibility, in terms of, encouraging foreign direct investment, for example. A lot has to be done there. So it's a very different case. Now, what the banks need is 4 billion, which in the big scheme of things is very small. We have to put things in perspective. Slovenia is only 0.4% of our European economy, so it is a very small problem in the big things. But for Slovenia, clearly, the need is quite large.
And yet they're denying the need, aren't they? The Prime Minister Alenka Bratušek said clearly yesterday, actually, we don't need help. But you've read the OECD report. What do you make of it?
Well, I think the OECD report is quite realistic in terms of, the reforms that need to happen and the challenges that they have. I think both the European Commission and the Prime Minister in Slovenia are trying to warn and say, we can deal with this on our own, and the European Commission saying, there's no need for financial aid. Now, there was a bond auction yesterday where half of the money needed was raised. Clearly, there was a, tension there, but I think there is room for sale of assets, for example. There's room for more restructuring that would give confidence to investors potentially to lend more money.